What's up, guys? This is Stupat Gaming. It's Ed here, and welcome to Outer Wars again. We are gonna continue where we left off. This time, instead of doing the side missions, we're gonna do main missions. I decided that we should do main missions because I was really backtracking. Well, not backtracking, but I was a bit occupado with all the side missions, and if I kind of get into the mode of doing all side missions after a while. I'll obviously show them, but I think it's time to make some progress within the game, see where it gets us, what kind of people we meet, things like that, you know. Especially since I'm pretty sure, since this is an RPG, every character intertwines. I know that you can kill a lot of the NPCs here. Like, you can kind of just remove them from the world. Unlike, you know, games like Skyrim and stuff like that, where you kind of can't just kill main NPCs. I'm pretty sure you can in this game. I'll give it a go one day and see if that's true. And whether it is or not, I'm not going to take the chance just yet. But we are going to continue the main story, as I said. So, oh yeah, I did a few messing around, got a few guns, upgraded, did a few crafting, smithing, etc., etc. Nothing too big, and nothing too interesting, I guess you can say. So let's continue this main mission. So I'm pretty sure it's where I accidentally walked into the first time, where they were having that weird conversation. And I kind of just stepped out, acting like I did not know what the is going on. So let's go here and get this started.
Any food, it cooks.
Yeah, but Beth, I mean...
Seems we've got a guest.
I am.
Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you. You must be the town boss. Wait until you're finished. Let's not be polite. Are you Reed? I was told you to talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I think you may have the wrong idea about my uniform. What are you talking about? I don't work for Spacer's Choice.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Frying myself?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean? That's a lot to ask of a stranger. Tell me about it. Yeah, let's do a stranger.
You're the first stranger to wander into town in an age. Scripture tells us that nothing happens without reason.
You said the time was mostly abandoned. What did you mean? Let's pretend I'm interested. What can you tell me about the geothermal plant?
The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste.
What are you guys, running out of business? Okay, let's find
I
out.
was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Interessante. Tell me what I need to do. What a surprise, I never would have guessed.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
None of what you're telling me is my problem.
It's our problem, not yours, but I'm asking for your help. If those workers don't come back, Edgewater is going to collapse. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Alright, Reed, I'll see what I can do with you. How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
You're asking me to cut off power to an entire
I
community.
am asking you to help us survive. Edgewater needs more workers or we will collapse. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
I can't make any promises.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Logic, Mario.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
I want her company, yeah.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
I ain't taking her because she a companion. I'm taking her because she cute. They are characters that enjoy you in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support, enhance your skills, increase your carrying capacity. Special companion come out. Okay. Cool.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Okay. Oh!
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Alright, whatever you want, Miss Parvati.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry.
Now you
Can we
want to talk? Okay.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about deserters, so what's the other side of it? Figures Reed didn't exactly strike me as the honest soul. What he said seemed pretty straightforward to me. If I wanted to deal with nuance, I wouldn't be this heavily armed. Let's move.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. The town's got issues. How well did you know the deserters? You worked with them. You were friends, or what? Did you know Adelaide? Okay, let's do friends.
I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, kept my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
Can't blame you for wanting this town's got issues.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose I couldn't help. We'll stop by.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
I think I know
That's
my
what
own
my dad
morale.
used to say anyways.
Okay, so as I was doing like all the gearing and shit, I figured that there was NPCs that I needed to speak to randomly for like side quests and stuff. The vicar just so happens to be one of them because I was running around and the townsfolk spoke about them, and you know usually that means there's a hint.
Here. It's too clean.
You got something to say about
Yeah,
that?
huh?
You mentioned something earlier. Okay, no, we'll talk later.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity.
Okay, you had
And
attitude
Miss
at the
Holcomb
beginning.
as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison. Anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
Pavardi wanted to talk to you. Let's do this
What?
one.
I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away.
She's a
I
shy
can't
one.
imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked her to do?
Cut off the power. Deserters. If you can answer quickly, we're in a hurry. Okay, let's not be a dick.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
So what do you advise? What do you think, Alex? Group Vicar?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Depends on how well the leader can provide beyond your walls. Why can't I? I'm not smart enough! That's fine. So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Right, just talk to anyone coming together. I'll keep that in mind. Sounds like I got my work cut out for me. Thank you for your time.
If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Alright, I'm sure, but I assume you want. Yeah, I'll do that later. That's not something I care about at the moment. Let's continue this mission though. This is what's more interesting to me. I'm sure the botanical should go through the left, but I'll go right. Okay. I'm assuming that in the intelligence check was a decision that would be towards helping the group rather than turning off the power and allowing them to come. But she doesn't want them, Parati doesn't want them to come back because they have their own kind of ideals, and making them suffer to come back doesn't really make any sense. So that's kind of cruel. I kind of see. I can. I guess you can say I can kind of see the judgment calls here going on. Kind of reminds me of Mass Effect, where you had to make a judgment call every now and then. Mass Effect wasn't this harsh, where like you don't really have a win-win. Because right now it's looking like a lose-lose. I'm gonna rather fuck over this company, and I might get stuff out of it if I don't fuck them over, or I'm gonna fuck over this community and I'm not gonna get stuff from this community. But whatever the case may be, we're gonna see right now. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make a conscious decision on which one I want. This will be the first playthrough anyway, so I can do it as I wish for now. Oh shit, marauders. Gotta be careful. Okay. Nothing of worry in my way so far. I wonder if she can keep up. Oh, she can! Look at that. She's not that far behind. Are there enemies here? Oh, there's dead marauders. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. 215. Nah, garbage. 215. I'll get that to sell it. Why are these people just dead? You know, honestly, I'm kind of glad that there's ammo just riddled about in the areas, because, man, is ammo really hard to get by in this game. I didn't think it would be this difficult. And the amount it costs just to get something, I guess, is because it's the beginning of the game, but jeez. Talk about ridiculous. I'll get used to it, though. Especially since I'm playing on hard. I'm pretty sure that has, something to do with it. Just playing on a difficulty that doesn't allow you to... What's that noise? I'm pretty sure it has something to do with all this difficulty. And that's why I can't find ammo like that. It's not best choice, it's spacious choice. Yeah, blast my leg out, right? Oh, here we are. Oh, so they must have done it.
Stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Yes, sirree. I don't want no trouble here, sir. No trouble at all, sir. Ma'am.
I don't know you.
I don't know you either.
Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
You move along, ma'am. What's your problem?
Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another.
You obviously run a tight ship. Who's been wandering out your camp? I'm looking for Adelaide. I need answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Oh, would you rootin' tootin'? I'm looking for a geothermal plant. Know anything about it? Reed says something about former workers living out in the wilderness. Let's go with the geothermal plant.
A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Yeah, and I got my bullets in you. Read something. Says something. Where can I find Adelaide?
We're in the hothouse, tending crock.
Yes, ma'am.
Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
We all got problems. I just got shot into space.
Explains why you're still yammering on at me. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Why am I being told this nonsense? I'll keep an eye out.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
Once Marauders got into her, then parts of her could be on a lot of
Could
places.
do without the gallows humor.
Okay, I'll leave you be. We'll ask questions about that later. I love me mystery missions. Oh. Glowey.
It's so pretty.
Alright, I'm starting to like her each time she speaks.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside.
What the fuck?
An illness, find a place to lay your head down and
She's literally a baby woman.
Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You must be Adelaide.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
You sent me to make peace with you. Is this your greenhouse? Looks like you made yourself a home out
A
here.
home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots.
Why did you leave your old home?
It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Odd, she doesn't want to spit out much. Reed sent me to make peace? Yeah.
Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Oh, spicy. You're living off power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery. That's about it. Rita asks you to consider coming back to the town. He's willing to make amends. Something about coming back to power and losing power. I wasn't really listening. Okay.
Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess.
Ooh.
Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
This is serious. I'm about to cut off your power. Reed asked me to divert your power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Your camp has a power regulator. I need to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid.
Oh
Think
man.
about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
What have you got against the town? Yeah, I want to know.
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them.
That's true.
You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
That's a real personal.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
You made your point clear. I'll see what I can do. I don't much like you throwing that in her face to get me on your side. Yeah, I don't like that, to be honest.
I'm alright. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
dear.
rethink yourself. That's my woman. What do you have against people trying to make a living? Let's say I help you. Alright, let's do the first one. Let's see what she says.
It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones.
Notice that?
You've been there. You've seen it.
Yep.
All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
Let's say I help you. What happens to Edgewater?
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
I think Reed's just trying to spite you.
You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it.
I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Alright. Well, I guess this is a good spot to end this episode. We got thrown a lot of information, honestly, and I can make a decision off of what I learned. I can also do a few side missions on the side for the next episode. So this will be interesting. We got a new town to explore as well. Well, that's the end of this episode for today. Got spit with all that info. Please like, subscribe to the channel, share it to your friends, or you know what, hit that dislike button. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. I won't push you to do anything. This is your life, your fingers. This is Ed from 3 Pack Gaming, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode.